Hey everybody, my name is Rich. I use the he, him pronouns. You're watching my YouTube channel where I play amazing tabletop role-playing games with friends. This is part of Gauntlet Comics. Gauntlet Comics is this shared universe in a imprint of a made-up comic book that a number of folks within the Gauntlet community have fun telling superhero and super-themed and other weird comic book related stories. This is March of 2020. In the first 2 months of March, the first 2 months of 2020, because March is only 1 month. So let me start over. The first couple months of the year, this group played in a series of Masks sessions. Masks New Generation from Magpie Games is a game powered by the Apocalypse about supers, young adult supers. And now we are transferring these characters to adult supers to be part of a playtest of Power Beyond Doubt. Power Beyond Doubt, or PbtA, is from Jen Kitzman. It is grown-up supers with feels is one of the original pitches of the game, as Paul Edson challenged Jen to make this thing happen. And it's pretty interesting system, and I'm quite excited to see the re-envisioned characters from our Masks game. So this is our issue 0, as it were. Issue 0 is a thing in comics, is a idea that it's a jumping on point. It's a little bit of a preview, a little bit of a catch up. It's also sometimes a little bit of a retcon, so that we're all on the same page for the characters and what kind of story we're hoping to tell with them. So now it has been at least 10 years since we last since our last issue of the Masks series. And now we are picking up with these folks in their young adulthood, I guess. I'm old enough to say that late 20s is young adulthood, and damn it, I'm sticking with it. It's basically their grown-up business. So what I would like to do before we start introducing characters is remind you that we have safety tools. We have lines and veils, which have already been filled out on our character keeper. And I, of course, highlighted that with the players, but just to call it out, the lines we have are on line on sexual assault and sexual violence, violence to pets, peril to pregnant women. I think that was carried over. Does anyone have a line on that one? Or, I mean, I doubt it's going to come up, but just checking in. Are we good to just go ahead and remove? All right, awesome. And then we have veils on death or endangerment to young children, graphic injuries, consensual sex. There's a veil that, which means will fade to black, and a veil on suicide. The veil means that will not happen on screen. It's material we're okay with it being part of our fiction. We just don't want to shine a light on it. On top of that is our X card. All you have to do is make an X, say, hey, Rich, I need to X card something, or you can use our cool roll for your party. There's a button there where you can mention what needs to be X carded. Not going to challenge you on anything that you X card, but I may stop just to ask what it is if it's not immediately clear, and then I'll check in. We will stop play and find a way around it and excise it from our play. Last thing I'll say about the X card is you sometimes may let something go, thinking it's not that big a deal, and it starts to get to you. You can still X card something. If it's something that was okay last session and you X card it this time, still okay. There is nothing that can stop you from X carding. And I just assume you're doing it in the best spirit to make sure that you feel safe and comfortable and that you're having a good time. With all of this, so much said, as Rich just natters on and on, I am now going to transition to having people introduce themselves and then tell us a bit about their characters. And I may ask a few questions along the way. I have note cards, which I won't be able to decipher later, but sometimes it helps me to remember. Let's start off with Joe. Joe, what's happened to Alessandra / Cupid?
They sort of died. So they got blasted by a thing last session. And in my mind, during the drive up to New York and the weeks passing, I was like, all right, here's what happened. Uh, whatever she got blasted with, there was also like a lightning bolt that struck at the same time by Zeus. She got pulled away. War of the Gods happened. She's been gone. Earth time, 7 years. Her time, much longer. Alessandra basically died, the mortal form, as she was reborn as like one of the last remaining gods in the Greek pantheon, despite taking the name of Venus, because Alessandra thinks it's a better name than just calling herself Aphrodite.
Fair enough. I mean,
Yeah,
it saves you some syllables.
yeah. And so now Venus has returned to New Gauntlet, or arrived at New Gauntlet City around 3 years ago, um, with some memories of the mortal life. So she knows of her former teammates, but you know, things may be probably a bit tense.
So Venus has kind of taken Alessandra's body over as if she's some kind of avatar. Is that what?
Well, like she was always destined to become like embrace godhood, but
Okay.
like there was, the death of many other gods, and Alessandra's humanity, in a sense, was destroyed.
Now, Death of Many Other Gods, is this from multiple pantheons or just
Yep,
contain? Okay,
multiple pantheons.
cool. What is Venus's relationship to Fate's Fury, Alessandra's aunt?
Well, Fate's Fury, I like Venus looks almost exactly like Cupid. Um, I think Fate's Fury would have probably like the world, or the close people of Alessandra, after a certain while probably would have had a funeral of some sort.
Sure.
Um, so Fate's Fury thinks I'm probably Alessandra, but I'm like, I am not. Like, I quickly let her know that
Okay.
she is dead. I'm sorry for your loss.
Wow. Okay. That is pretty cool.
Yep.
And then you have some backstory questions. Since this is a playtest of Power Beyond Doubt, let's work through those backstory questions.
Yep. Why do you have your incredible powers? Because I'm a living god, one of the few remaining after the War of the Gods. Who set you on the right path? My former mortal half, Alessandra. It was her belief and conviction in doing the right thing that was instilled within me upon my return to the mortal realm. What is the most rewarding part of what you do? Selfishly, for Venus, worship, because she's still a god and she still craves worship. While like she does the right thing, she's also got slightly selfish motivations.
Are there churches to Venus that have been founded, or is that a rumor?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, that's interesting.
Like there's
Okay.
definitely many talking heads like, how dare, like, this is blasphemy, and other people, like, how like comics, some people worship Superman as a god. She embraces that. So how to keep myself motivated, I don't know. Trying to think what motive. I think actual like trying to reconnect on personal levels with humans or
Okay.
mortals is probably the better term. And why do I care about the team? Like there's still the memories of the history with them, and their spirits mostly seeming to be in the right place of justice.
Okay. Cool. Thank you, Joe. We'll have some relationships we'll deal with in a bit. You've got touchstones. Let's get those out there and talk about them very quickly.
Sure. So I've got a vulnerable heart, because the Paragon playbook has like these abstract choices that you have to choose one from. So that's what I went with. It was the most interesting to me. I've got Lady Winter, who's an immortal French assassin. Met her during the War of the Gods. That was weird. She's not a god. She just kills them.
Wow, so she's a god killer.
Yep.
That is fascinating. Let me make sure and put that note in there.
Yep. Sekhmet, another god, one of she claims to be the last surviving of the Egyptian pantheon. I don't know.
Nice
This is an open world, so
wait, just so I'm clear, what do you mean by this is an open world?
Well, Gauntlet comics.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So if somebody else wants to change that, that's fine.
Cool.
Yeah.
They're false gods, but according to Sekhmet, right? Okay.
Yeah, that could work. Captain Anna Miklos and Juniper Hunt. Venus is currently in a relationship with both of them.
Okay.
And finally, Griselda Alatante, because she's a vampire, and that sounded cool, so I wanted more vampires.
Okay. That's fine with me.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you very much. Now we shall move on to David. David was playing Shadow Boxer, who was a beacon, and just a super happy beacon who maybe had some trouble near the end there. So what has happened to Shadow Boxer? I see we've still got the name Shadow Boxer, so nothing's changed. That's good. It makes me very excited. I don't like change. Joking. Oh, David, you're on mute.
Okay. Yeah, Richard, you're in for some trouble here because
no trouble.
Unfortunately, yeah. She now goes by Eclipse. I think especially after Cupid's possible demise, she kind of took that to heart, and since then she blamed herself, I think, and also just had more and more tragedies happen not too long after that. Her aunt, who was a lawyer, kind of was the only prosecutor against a mob boss, who I think I'm going to say was Mr. Hearst.
Ooh.
And everyone else was too scared to take the case against him. But she did, and then was kind of, a squad of home invaders came in to deal with her and just murdered her cold blood, Wayne's parents style. And now I should mention I'm playing the Avenger, which is kind of the Batman analog. So she went pretty dark. Her former mentor kind of was able to save her from these mob enforcers that kind of got her unawares. And now she's kind of been fighting this one woman, theoretically a war against organized crime in particular. Donnie Darko, her ex, her on again, off again romantic partner, is she sometimes gets these checks in the mail. She doesn't question them. She uses them to buy some gadgets and fun things, including her shadow cycle.
Yes.
And she also found out that her power before as the beacon was kind of just camouflage skin, but she at some point in these 7 to 10 intervening years found out that she was actually just changing the wavelengths of light. So she actually had light powers this whole time. So she can kind of make things darker or kind of change their color that way. And because of her fine tuning of this, she kind of has supernatural senses where she can kind of sense light and darkness within just based on, light waves and who knows, comic book science, you get it. But she has super senses because of that.
Neat. Let's hit those backstories. You talked through a little bit of them, but let's make sure we got all those answered officially.
Yeah. So what tragedy galvanized your heart to vengeance? And that was her aunt Mariana's murder after taking the job of lead prosecutor. Oh my gosh, how could I forget? One of the kind of the I don't know, protege of Mr. Hearst, the mob boss, is this martial artist named Honey Badger, who Honey Badger's kind of trying to take Mr. Hearst's place, so she's kind of public enemy number one to Eclipse for some time now. But anyway, back to this. How did you learn your skills you need to enact this vengeance? So she was originally trained by this Soviet-era super martial artist named Gray Bear, and he was the one who kind of saved her. And also she went to Hope Prep, which she got a lot of training with there, if anyone remembers. Who did you lose? So both Aunt Mariana and Gray Bear died in that. Gray Bear to sacrifice himself so that Shadowboxer back then could escape and become Eclipse. And then who in your life has been partially a replacement for that person? Like I was saying, Donnie D has kind of been funding this vengeance quest for her. So almost like a, nope, I was going to say it and I hate it, but kind of like an Alfred that sometimes you sleep with. Don't like that I went there, but that's it. And then why do you care about the team? So I think she's much more darker and more focused, but she still has a history with them. And she's not much of a team player, but she can, if anyone in the world she can depend on, it's going to be these three.
Nice. What about your touchstones? You've already mentioned some of them, but let's work through those real quick.
Oh yeah, good point. So I'm keeping one open. Might go in there eventually, but so I've got Donnie D, the interested investor. Elaine, which has a new name, who I won't spoil yet, but she's the only one that understands me. Honey Badger, who is my even darker reflection. I also have just organized crime in general, and hiding in the shadows.
Hiding shadows is a touchstone. I love that as a concept. That's really, really neat. Sweet. Thank you very much, David. Next, we will go to Sawyer. If you could introduce yourself and tell us about your character. I mean, Yuan was always such a bright and happy character. I imagine that you're still going to bring it, right? Right?
I am Sawyer, also known as Ferret. I use he, him for ease, but any pronouns with respect are fine by me. And Yuan did a lot of his changing near the end of the Masks run. He is still the Fomorian. He is still Yuan Baylor. But I am going to tie in a bit to the backgrounds that I've heard of, at least eclipses, if I may. But the first year out of high school, after the New Zealand trip, after Cupid's untimely disappearance, things sort of happened between the team, and Yuan left for the Fomorian courts for a while. He married Janos there, but there was a problem that his parents had never told him about humans in the Fey realm. If they stay there for too long, they can never leave. And Yuan was very much needed for a while. So Janos was basically coming and staying for like 3 months out of the year and having to spend 9 months away. So Yuan reached out to Eclipse and maybe pushed Janos to keep tabs on her to keep tabs on him. I doubt anything came of that isn't going to negatively affect anything. But after 3 years of princely duties, the Leonin came back into the picture, the Fae that had kidnapped Yuan back when he was purely mortal. and they were heading to Earth. And so Yuan left the Fomorian court without, again, this time without permission, this time without a way to get back. And he's been on Earth 7 years since. He has a nice apartment. Janos stays there sometimes, mainly on the weekends, but Janos is so busy now. Yuan is so busy now. It's so new, but at least the people are the same, kind of, maybe. He's not as distant from Earth, but things still feel so strange.
Wow, that is heavy. That's like adulthood right there, just sitting on your shoulders. The Fomorian uses the Defender playbook. Let's go through those backstory questions that we haven't already hit.
Yeah. Before you were a superhero, what defined your values? Honor, value itself, loyalty, and family. But it's hard to say before I was a superhero. I've always been pretty heroic. I mean, came to Earth and started like that. I obtained my abilities through first being partially dismembered by the Leonin Fae and then rebuilt by the Fomorian Fae into a literal epic hero. I have mithril bones.
Bones. That's so awesome.
What would you lay your life down for? My lover, my husband, my friends, innocence, maybe even a cat or something. Life is precious. People are precious. And I need to change that a bit, but who outside of the team do I go to for guidance for thorny issues? Garrison. I mean, Garrison and I were on Donnie D's college team. I didn't stay for very long. First semester of college, before the marriage. I didn't want to take out loans. I hear those are really bad. And but we've stayed in touch all the time, and he works with Janos, so I mean he's got to keep tabs on him for me. I mean, friends tell everything to friends, right? And triads are the strongest relationship type.
Nice.
And why do I care about the team? They're my friends. They're my companions. They are my battle siblings. They are my Earth family.
And there's a bit of sad news talking about battle brothers because somebody no longer travels with you, right?
Enos started a family a little bit after I started a family. We were always there for each other, but we are there for each other in different ways now. But my touchstones are in my battle against the other Fae, which are nasty, horrible, despicable Fae, unlike me, is my promise sage, my lawyer, my contractual scourer, Miss Osborne Rock. What I believe in is my husband, Janos. He was my rock. My best drinking buddy is Garrison, though honestly, he can hold a lot more than I can.
Big boy.
I have found delightful chaos in the metahuman who calls herself Cryptid, and she's teaching me how to dance a style called Vogue. And be grand, in parentheses, grandiose, because I'm Yuan. Duh. And my anchor to the earth, Elaine.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. So much has changed. 10 years. This is amazing. I love that. Like this issue 0 has just it's got all the hits. So many hits coming left and right. Good stuff. Last but certainly not least, Sherry, please introduce yourself and tell us about your character.
Hi, my name is Sherry. I use the pronouns she, her. I am playing Elaine Subject, except that her code name now, her super's name is Threnody. Kind of they, them. She's easily recognizable as the former Elaine Subject, though. Let's see here. So, should we just start with the background?
Well, it is the Tarnished playbook.
Yes, Tarnished. So she's a little bit on the darker side. She has powers of mastery over demons and object animation. There's a reason for this. But essentially, she has a bad reputation. Her abilities run to bargaining, darker knowledge, convincing people. Well, takes one to know one. That's the other move. So we can talk about those later. Let's see here. So the backstory. So the question is, when have you done something reckless and who got hurt? And it wasn't so much that she did something reckless. She actually saved the world, just like Subject was designed to do. And it worked. And I and my friends saved the world. But as soon as that happened, Subject left, went to the next world. And like things filled the void. Where Subject was, the Infernals came. And no one even remembered after everything happened that the world had been saved. All they knew was I was standing there in the burning, smoking ruins of the Noakes Hall of Records, and my ex was dead. And I immediately had, the Endeavors came and took me away, and I was not in any kind of shape to control the narrative of what had happened there after that. So essentially, yay, I saved the world. Boo, no one remembers. And I lost Junior irrevocably. And so it says, why are you looking to redeem yourself? And my answer was, am I? Is that what I'm doing? Damn it. I just, maybe I saved the world, but it's still full of crappy situations. So I think she's still just trying to make things better. Like, she knows she owes someone something, but she isn't sure how this works out. The calculus is beyond her. Who outside the team thinks better of me than I do? That would be Liam Cold Snap. He's first chair of the Gauntlet City Symphony on the viola section, and I'm super proud of him. And yeah, just like I hoped he would do. Also, he's still Cold Snap, but he's a good guy. And then who are you still friends with, even though they're on the other side? Sarah Bellum. Always Sarah. She's never let me down, even though supposedly she's a bad guy. She and the 5 beautiful minds. So, and then why do I care about the team? They are the 3 that I can always find. Literally, even from the depths of the hells, I know where they are. So just doesn't matter. So essentially, she's had to learn how to control and bargain with demons, among other things. Since when Subject disappeared, she got a different violin, and it was an infernal violin, and it all happened very fast. But fortunately, the Endeavors know how to deal with that stuff. So,
she's still pretty heavily involved with the Endeavors.
Yeah. And so my first touchstone is called Control is Caring. And that's the Endeavors who stand for that idea. One of the touchstones that is required by the playbook to take is called Fellow Informer Fiend. So it's Sarah Bellum. She's become a bad guy, but she's just like me. No matter what everyone else says, they think I'm a horrible person too. So to me, Sarah and I are in the same situation. And then I have for the most hopeful, that's Yuan. He's always been that, the brightest and the most hopeful. Always there, like my shadow, is Maya. The void must be filled. That's my violin, Aurum. And the power of distance, Venus, because Venus's emotional distance lets her go on. There's that touch of Alessandra, but she's not Alessandra anymore.
Wow.
Is that okay?
Yeah, I think it's
Okay.
okay. Good stuff.
All right.
All right, let's circle back around to do the. Oh yeah, nice note there. The hopeless. Yeah. Let's do relationships. I think these may be a bit perfunctory because your relationships were defined by a bunch of previous games, but it's a playtest, so I want to hear how these sound. So, kick us off, Joe.
Was the relationship questions?
Yes, please.
All right. I'm sorry, I was writing the text.
It's
in the
okay.
chat.
No, it's all right.
Let's see. I'm going to say these are.
They're on row 70.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Okay.
because I wrote them in. Let's see. I'm gonna say that Threnody really makes me feel like a part of the city
Neat.
because they respect that I am not Alessandra. They acknowledge that. Yeah, Alessandra always hated that name. It was it's like, really? Okay. And I think Eclipse can do things I'm sure I never could.
That seems appropriate. David, sit your relationships.
Okay. After hearing all these, I think I'm going to give Threnody knows my tragic origins. I think especially because of the demonic violin, we're kind of the darker people on the team, although Venus is right there with us. And I think based on that, Fomorian has potential but needs to sharpen up. You need to get down to our level, I think, in her eyes.
Wow. All right, Fomorian, you've got a couple relationships.
I respect Venus's ideals. She follows convictions of her old human self, husk, cocoon, and that's admirable. And Eclipse makes a lot of compromises, but I'm determined to see the good in them.
Ooh. Nice. And last but not least, for Elaine, you got two relationships to hand out.
Okay, so these are hard. So I say Eclipse keeps a watchful eye on me. I know, like I said, she's always there. And I think I have Venus marked that they're shadier than that they seem. And by that, I mean that they really are much more separate from humanity and the fate of things. And it's a good thing, it's a strength, but it's also dangerous.
I
Checks out.
completely. Yeah, I
Checks
buy
out.
that. I
Also,
buy that.
like, I crave worship, so that's not
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
That is shady. Nice. Great work, everybody. Thank you for the conversion and all the interesting story. I see a lot of thought has gone into this, and I'm quite excited. We're at about our halfway point. So let's go ahead and take 7-8 minute break. And when we come back in, I'm going to follow you guys around a little bit. We're going to integrate you into the city and do a few things and have some scenes and all that fun stuff. Cool. So we'll see you guys in about 7-8 minutes.
so shiny. Oh, wow. It looks great.
It does, right?
Yeah.
I
So
picked
when
it
do
up
I
this
get my
afternoon.
copy?
Well, I grabbed a few out of the box, and that was the plan. And the other copies are all being sent to Jen in Colorado, and she's going to be shipping them out. So,
Cool.
a couple weeks, hopefully.
Are you excited?
It's pretty weird. Like holding it in my hands. It's pretty weird.
It's a good game. Are you going to run it again?
I have to now. I think I'm going to post it up, like for my May game.
I would very much like to play it again.
Alrighty. I'm sure we can work something out. I've got an in with the GM, the game manager, per the parlance. Oh, sweet. So, welcome back, everybody. When I went downstairs, my son was like, "Are you here to reset the router?" I said, "Why?" And evidently, he was trying to download the latest update for Apex Legends, and the download was going incredibly slow. But am I stuttering or anything? Like, I'm coming through okay for you guys? So, too bad for him. Oh well.
You are eating all your son's bandwidth. So unkind.
No worse than he's done for me. Many times. All right. Modern day, New Gauntlet City. We open up a big kind of single page of the pictures of all four of you in. Yeah, I think you're in your own individual MLS. So it's like it's a 4-panel grid. It's got the little call outs of each of you, you know, the Fomorian, Eclipse, Venus, and Threnody. So this is just like it's more of an inspirational piece for each of you. And in your panel, you're in your element, or you're exemplifying some aspect of your character. So I now am going to hand the reins to each of you for that. Then we'll turn the page and we'll have New Gauntlet City. So what is the single pane shot of Eclipse? Where is she? What is she doing?
It's definitely that art I picked. It's she's just kind of sort of taking a step, like kneeling, ever vigilant on a rooftop at night. She's kind of dressed all in black, but just even using her powers to make herself supernaturally black. She's got some kind of bladed weapon. You can kind of see the glimmer from in the red sunset.
Yeah, that one. Oh, you're talking about the character one. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, the other one. Although she does look like that too.
Boom.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, so that's your single panel. I love it.
Mhm.
Awesome. So what about for Threnody? What is her single panel? What is she doing, or what do we see?
I think what you see is she's there, and behind her, you see a tornado kicking up. The sky is a strange color, and she's sort of staring off into the distance, and then it sort of comes out. The next panel is out a little further, and you can see she's got a violin. It's very different than Sobchak.
Nice.
It's black. The strings are gold. It's kind of liquid looking in some ways. Like the wood of it moves like it's liquid almost. It doesn't like ease or something. It's just like it looks like it's flowing at the surface all the time. And the next frame is a little bit further out, and you can see she's not on Earth. She's in some sort of maybe a hellscape, not deep in or something. And essentially you can see there's sort of a procession coming towards her. And she's sort of playing and watching that going on. And then when they get to a certain point, you'll see her like run through and into the procession, grab something, and then flash out.
What? My mind is blown. Okay.
Yeah, and then she comes back and she's standing and she's in the Endeavors. You've seen the shot of that room before, and she holds it out to one of the mages, probably Elton Gwinty, right? Eldon Gwinty, and holds it out to him. Says this, and he nods, and then cut.
Nice. And then what about for Venus? Do we see the picture you'd created or something else?
I think it's pretty simple. It's just like she's floating, you know, she's got like the golden aura glow behind her, behind a couple of muggers. Just
nice.
Stopping a lowly mugging.
Lowly mugging. I mean,
no crime is too small.
No crime is too small. Okay, that's good. What about for the Fomorian?
I believe he is standing in like, it's sort of like a Jessica Jones meets the Nightmare Before Christmas winter shot. He's under a street light, and I think he's his mithril arm is out, but the buckler he used to produce from it is on that arm now instead of his right. It is cracked and shattered, and I think like on each little crack there's a different one of his family members from the Fomorian court like in a state of shock or anger at his leaving. And in his right hand is the cold iron dagger, as the Valorian omni weapon no longer changes for him, as he is now a disowned prince.
Ooh, disowned prince? Wow. And I thought I shared the pic of Venus, but I evidently didn't come through. So there is the awesome pic of Venus, which Joe made, which I really dig. So there we go. Thank you very much. All right. So looking at New Gauntlet City, do you guys have a headquarters? Is this a thing that maybe Eclipse with all of her wonderful toys and backing has set up? Or is it, do you guys go to the Endeavors place and their weird mystical mansion? Where is it that you guys would meet up, or do you have some particular meeting point whenever you do things together?
Sure.
Yeah, I could see Eclipse if no one else.
Venus could also provide a place, presumably.
Oh yeah, that makes sense too.
Yeah. As long as you don't mind coming into the light.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So
think
that's a no?
this place would be like just an abandoned warehouse or something. So probably make go with Venus this time.
I was thinking some kind of abandoned church that was revitalized into a temple of Venus.
No. That would put people in danger.
So what were you thinking, Jeff?
I think like sort of like, you know, a Xanatos type thing on top, like it's like a remodeled thing at the top of a skyscraper.
Wait a second. Do you mean Xanatos of Gargoyles?
Yeah, that guy.
Fuck yeah. Okay, keep going.
Yeah,
Sorry, I just wanted to break
guy.
in to make sure that I knew what you meant. Okay.
Like she's like built her own little Olympus at the top of like wherever she lives.
Oh man, that is. So it's a little like the Xanatos, a little like some
Maxi Zeus ripoff stuff.
Maxi Zeus. Okay, that one I don't get.
It's Batman villain. He's
Wow.
a
He was
gangster.
in Harley Quinn, the animated series.
He's a gangster that
Really?
thinks he's Zeus.
Yeah, he was the
Oh
dude.
God,
Yeah.
the D-bag. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. I'm with you. Okay. Sorry, I spaced on that whole character because he was just so terrible, but he was funny in a way, but mostly terrible.
He's like a D-list Batman villain that's just a regular dude thinks he's Zeus. He's great. It's wonderful.
There are a lot of silly Batman villains.
There's a lot of silly villains.
I mean, you're not wrong in any way, shape, or form.
Sarah is not silly.
Nice. Cool. So you guys have this Xanatos Gambit type. Condiment King is so silly. Kite Man is the best. All right. Stop. I can't
You
look
gotta
at the
stop looking at the
There's
chat.
so much funny stuff in the chat. I'm like Rich is catching up. Cool. So we so
It's probably
Venus
just her home.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Is does she live there? And you guys, everybody just kind of shows up. How did you come to own this place?
You know, celebrity status, I suppose.
Are you an influencer?
I feel like she probably would end up being it. Like, she does not hide her identity is Venus. Like, her legal identity is Venus. So no longer is there a secret identity.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough for me.
As a
Love them.
social media influencer, is it a thing where she actually does things like people pay her to wear certain clothing places, or
Sure. Like, well, Alessandra was starting on that path as like the modeling. Like,
yeah,
the
she's
young-
dead, man. What are you keep leaning on this dead girl? What
Still
does
in the
Venus do?
brain. Yeah, because Venus, like the goddess of love, is not petty like that and vain.
Oh, what I love is not. Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not petty or vain. Come on.
Okay.
Okay, Greek love though. You know the Greek
Anyway.
vision of love. Yeah. That's
Anyway,
pretty
yes, influencing, all that sort of thing. The Mary Jane Watson style of modeling. Acting's too much of a commitment.
Yeah, I mean, what if there's heroing to do?
Exactly. It would be irresponsible.
Nice. And Venus being a paragon, like you hero, like you just like your intro pick of chasing down muggers. No crime is too small for you.
Well, I mean, yeah. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean. Real crime, not jaywalking.
Okay. Like crime that hurts other people.
Yes.
Is Alessandra just godlier? Yeah, that's pretty cute. The spirit of Alessandra compels you. But you do have a vulnerable heart. Cool. So, yeah, I think, man, I think Juniper being a reporter, I don't think she's out about your relationship, right? So she wouldn't ask you to wear a disguise. So whenever Juniper is seeing you in a non-professional capacity, I think Juniper puts on a disguise to come to see you.
That hurts a little.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Vulnerable
Yeah,
heart.
maybe you guys should talk about that.
Yeah.
So
Are you ashamed of me?
nice. Let's just jump straight in. So Jennifer comes in and she's wearing like the trench coat and the
fedora,
wide brim hat there. You know, she comes in to see you at your part. Like you said, you live there, so
yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen gargoyles. Like I have many.
I mean,
fond...
it's not a castle.
Okay, good. It's not.
It's not that
castle.
insane.
It's not the Scottish castle.
No.
Okay. But is it like a Is it like some kind of temple that's built on top of the skyscraper?
Sure. But like,
Okay.
I mean, like, yes. I say it's just like the penthouse apartment top of the fancy apartments remodeled to be Grecian.
Sweet. So there is no Dana, only Zool. Okay, got it.
Yes.
Got it.
There you go.
Sweet. So yeah, Juniper comes up to the penthouse suite, and she's in the trench coat and the wide brim hat, and yeah, you ask if she's embarrassed of you, right?
You always dress this way. Why?
You don't like this coat? I love this coat.
It is a nice coat, but even when we go out, you hide yourself.
So I think that maybe you are trying to pierce her mask, right?
I guess. Is that a
So-
move? I don't know.
It is a move. It's a move. So if you got a basic moves tab, again, I'm sorry, I just want to jump straight into some moves.
Yeah.
I'm all excited about them.
Play testing.
Row 55.
All right.
Now,
Roll with humanity.
right. So I know Joe's done this before, but just to kind of walk people through. This is a trust aligned move, and trust is one of the tracks that you have, confidence and trust. And so a trust aligned move, within the move, it will give you a stat to roll with, and then you also roll with that track. Your trust right now is a 0, and you're rolling with humanity, which you rose to a 1 in character creation. So you're rolling 2d6 plus 1.
All right. Let's see. I gotta read my move. Oh shit. I'll do that start a session move after this. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I forgot the start session.
Yeah. So did I. So all right then. It's not persuading someone, so to submit. So there's a 6 on the dice, so +1 is a 7.
Okay. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and do that. There's always a way. Roll. What that does is it gives you the ability to take more or fewer choices on roll results with
Okay.
hold. So if you wanted to roll that now, it would still apply if that's what you want to do.
All right, sure.
Roll plus power, which you have a 1.
They didn't change. Oh no, reroll selected. There we go. So 7
Got a
again.
7. Okay, man, you are just scraping by on a 7 to 9.
Hold 1.
Yep, you get to hold 1. So if you want to ask one more question, you can. The questions
I'll save
are
it.
listed in the move. What are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How can I get your character to blank? How can I make you a touchstone of mine? Oh, is she a touchstone? Yes. So
Yeah.
that actually puts you at an 8. Doesn't change the result, but let's try to remember those touchstone rules laid out.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
Nice. Cool. So she says, I'm not embarrassed of you at all. You're Venus. It's just I'm a reporter, and if people found out that I was in a relationship with you, I just worry that they would question my coverage of anything that you're involved in. So if you could just, I don't know,
Well,
do you mind, or do you want me to not cover you? Is that
I'm fine. If that makes you more comfortable, I'm fine with this. Or you be upfront. I mean,
you don't understand? The newsroom isn't as enlightened as it should be. It's hard. There's a lot of old news hounds. There's a lot of competition, and just one chink in my armor, and
well,
just give me some time. I'll try to work through it. Okay?
okay. All right. I have plenty of time.
Yeah. I wonder how this is going to work out 20 years from now when you're still amazing and I'm 20 years older.
Yeah, and Venus just like bites her lip and nods, like, yeah.
Yeah, that won't go well. Yeah. That's
It's just like,
it's just the mayor is having a gala. I could get you an invitation if you're interested.
I suppose. I suppose we're to go separately then?
Well, yes, but we could dance together.
If you wish.
You seem really hurt.
I'm this will take time to understand.
Well, okay, but I'm well aware that you're in a relationship with other people.
Yes.
It's not like we're... Okay. I don't... My career means a lot to me.
I respect that. I'm not asking you to... I don't... If you do not wish to be seen with me privately, that is fine. Or for the public to know that we are together.
That's what I want right now. I know you don't hide anything, but I'm just not ready yet, okay?
Oh, I understand. Or I'm trying to.
Thank you. And then we will cut away. That was a nice little taste of Venus and a struggle that she might have. Let's cut into Elaine. So Elaine lives at the Endeavors Mansion still?
Yep. She kind of got out of one set of training and stuff and got plunged into another set. So, yeah, she's learning demons. Hellscapes.
That's uncomfortable. Now, you said that there was one particular member of the Endeavors who was a bit of an expert along those lines. Is that right, or did I mishear?
Well, yeah, estimable mage Eldon Gwynty.
Eldon Gwynty,
Yeah.
yes. That's the first person you hurt with your powers.
Yep.
Not that bad. You just caused him to waltz himself into a china cabinet. That's
It was not a big thing.
not a big thing.
It's because he deals in dimensional magics that he's actually particularly prone to being affected by dimensional magics, and Sobchak was one of those.
Cool. So, what does a training with Eldon Gwynty look like?
It is essentially he sets a goal, and then he, like early on, he would teach her how to go about and find the secrets, find the ways to get more power, so that when she went to make the bargain, she would have the upper hand. And so it's that now he just sets the goals and essentially of what she's supposed to come back with. And so it's very much a thing of he says, next you'll get this, and it'll be some strange item that she's never heard of, and she knows she has to figure out what it is, who has it, what their weaknesses are, and it's that sort of thing.
That is twisty.
But that's just training. That's not actual, what do you say? It's not doing something in this world with it.
So he sends you on magical fetch quests after a fashion.
After a fashion, enough to learn how to do it safely. Because inherently, you always have to go bargain. Even if you're doing it like this because you need something, you need to know. You need to have a little book of quick, fast bargains you could make.
So we pick up with you at the Endeavors Mansion, this home for those who travel beyond this dimension, who have mastered many magics. And you're in a particular room that I think isn't surrounded by books, isn't surrounded by much. It is Spartan. There is a hexagon painted on the floor, and seated near you in the office chair that he wheels in because it's his favorite. Also, it's the office chair that the character you picked is sitting in, because that just amuses me that you have this like super awesome mage and he's in a manager's office chair. That tickles me to know. And
He has back problems.
so he's wheeled this in and he says, Elaine, you need to provide me with an axe made of cold wrought iron.
All right. Dime a dozen. Anything particular special about this?
Surprise me.
Okay. And I think she will wend her way through the paths that she saw when she rode Enosh to the Fomorian hellscapes, to the demons that the Fae know. And she will trade for the axe that cut down, that cut down the first pillar of the Fomorians.
When you say the first pillar, are you thinking that is a pillar as in a being?
Well, it was, but it's a Fomorian, so a being and a tree and a foundation of a house can be the same thing in poetry and song and even in their lifespan.
Wow, that's fantastic. Cool. So I think that you are communing with the underworld. So let's see you use darker knowledge.
Okay.
Roll with power.
All right. So that's a 7.
All right. On a 7 to 10, you get to pick one. And I do realize now that I need to change a little bit of the script of that one of them, that piece of that move, because ties are no longer part of this. So I will fix that as we're talking. So you gain you get one hold, or pick one. You gain some hidden knowledge. You gain some underworld assistance, which could be used to get you the axe, or a subject of the underworld doesn't take a touchstone with you.
That's interesting.
Which I think, so we're clear, if you don't choose number 3, that means that a subject of the underworld will.
Exactly. Understand that. But this is not a time for a defensive action. So I think I will take the underworld assistance, which is to hold the axe until the right bargain comes along. To take possession of the axe.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I just want to make sure I understood.
You never actually have, you never have anything from the infernal for any amount of time. You're holding it until you have to bargain it away again, if that makes any sense.
Okay, cool. So you're taking temporary possession of this thing. That's delightful. And the terminology is a subject of the underworld doesn't make you a touchstone, not take a touchstone. So there we go. Got that fixed. Back to the original playbook.
But I think the subject of the underworld does make me a touchstone then,
It
right?
does indeed.
All
It does
right.
indeed. And since we're talking about the demonic realms, hold on. Let's see if there's anything in the gauntlet. I think there is a bunch of demon stuff. Rather than make something new, let's search within the wiki of the Gauntlet comics.
No.
Forget Mr. Hearst is down in hell.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Mr. Hearst is down in there. Thank you very much. Very helpful. An Osrock also is a demon. That could be fun. Yeah. I like, where is she? I had you a second ago. Oh, so you travel to this underworld place, this nexus point, seeking this axe, the axe that cut the first pillar of the Ephemorians. And you find yourself searching until you come upon a woman with dirty blonde hair, pair of shades that are like slits, narrowed eyes, and she offers you the axe, but she says, I am Miss Osborne Rock, and you may have this for some time. I'm one of the partners of Osrock, and Osrock. We have been here as long as the Endeavors. This axe is yours for now, but soon I'll ask a favor of you. Acceptable?
And I think she stops and she says, Yuan speaks highly. Yes.
Yes. Interesting that you wish for an axe that would cut one of his people.
She goes, well, it's in my possession. I know where it is.
Indeed. And will he know that you have this thing in your possession to protect?
I will inform him when I return.
Hands you this axe that looks as if it was made of glass. You can see your fingers through the ghostly image of the outline of the axe itself, but occasionally you can see through it like a mirror, and you can see your eyes reflected within it. And so you return back to the mansion, and Eldon Gwinty. Oopsie. It's the first thing you can think of.
It was the third thing I can think of.
The third. And why did you not go after the first?
She said, because it was too dangerous.
Prudent. May I?
Yes. Do you mind if I call you on?
I do not.
All right. Do we get phone service within the hexagon?
I think there's no bars. I think there's no bars.
Just step outside. Okay. Awesome.
It goes from like 5G, 4G, 3G, LTE, no bars.
No bars. Okay.
Cool. So when we cut to Yuan before this phone rings, where do we find Yuan?
I am at Elflight's probation hearing with Miss Osborne Rock.
Wait, whose probation hearing? I had to sneeze.
Elflight, my cousin who's still stuck on Earth.
Yes, stuck on Earth and stuck in Gray. Oh shoot, I can't remember what we named the
Greygate, I think, right?
Yeah, Greygate. That I thought it was Gray something. Yeah, cool. So Ozrock is working her gift when your phone rings. Does it? Do you think this is going to go well? What did Miss Ozrock tell you that?
Ms. Osborne Rock told me that against my crusade against Leonin, I needed an ally. And the only family that I had left willing to talk to me at the moment was Elflight. So I needed to be the only positive voice stating she has changed in the court.
Oh, I think you should give an impassioned speech here. Let's see how well this goes.
Is this a roll?
I think it is. So within our basic moves, we have a move that could totally work here. I think you're trying to persuade these people. So you just give us a little bit of a flavor of how Yuan is trying to support Elflight, and then you'll be rolling with trust. This is a trust align move, and then persuading someone, which is on row 54 of the basic moves, you would roll with humanity. So for the Fomorian, your trust is 0 and humanity is 1. So you'd be rolling 2d6.
Yeah. I'll also state that I'm inspiring. When any player's character spins a team to help me, they mark experience. And at the start of every session, I gain 1 team, which I have.
Nice.
But
That'd be inspiring.
I think Yuan stands up and, you're supposed to dress formally for court. So he has 3 layers on. There may be 4 if you count like the very cinched corset. So be able to get all these layers. And he stands up, and I think Miss Osborne Rock has been, presenting the legal jargon of the case, and like the moral character witness, I think they're called, or they were in Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
And Yuan stands up, I am the one who put Elflight in prison just over a decade ago. She was brash. She was violent. She was a crusading vigilante that was on the wrong side of the law. She's changed. A decade is not long for the Fae, I'll admit. But she's been on Earth. She's been with the worst of the worst. She's been able to see what her actions would have caused. And if my words are not enough, We also have a contract ready to bind her to in case she would fall off the path of righteousness.
Nice. Cool. So let's have you roll that. So just so we're clear on the move that you had talked about there, the inspiring. So what that means is when someone else spends a team to help you out, they would mark experience. So does anyone have anything that maybe they could have done for Yuan to help him before he makes this persuade roll? Advice.
I don't think anyone else has team.
Oh, you're right. Cool. All right. So go ahead and roll +1.
I got an 8. We're moving up in the world.
On a 7 to 9, they'll need some concrete assurance, corroboration, or evidence first. So I will say that this assurance is I'm sure. Oh, I just spaced on it. What was it that you said? Not a promise. What was
the contract?
Contract. Yeah, they will require the contract, but if so, they will release Elflight temporarily under your good name.
Can I sweeten the deal? I have to sign the contract as well, and whatever she does, if she breaks the contract, this means I have broken my word as well.
Yes, that is way better. And yes, that is the thing. That's what they say. Thank you. That's great. It's really great. Sweet. So you get to sign a contract. And I assume it's signed in blood, right?
No, it's signed in silver ink, of course. We're not savages.
Elflight is there, and of course she quickly signs, no compunction whatsoever.
And I imagine it's not Elflight, it's like her full name, title, like even like a bit of hereditary history, daughter of, who was son of, who was.
Yes, we have to give her like some super long, flourishy name. So good. Yes, I will come up with a name and we will stick that in. For now, she will still be called Elflight, but that is awesome. And once she has signed this, your phone rings.
And Yuan looks at the number. Normally he wouldn't answer it in court, but I think this is the a special cover of a song from Requiem for a Dream.
Nice.
And he answers it. Oh, Elaine, how are you?
I'm good. Hey, I just wanted you to know, I brought you back PbtA, the axe. I thought you might want to know where it was.
PbtA, the cleaver.
Mm-hmm.
The one that slew my adopted father's great-grandfather, the first of the Fomorian kings.
The start of the cycle. Yep.
Oh, this is interesting.
If you want, I can hold on to it.
But if it is not in the cycle, that means he will not die. That means the cycle will change.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know. The cycle has always been the cycle.
So do you know let's see the name. Of course I know the name. Osborne Rock? You'd mentioned that name before.
My promise sage, yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That was who I made the bargain with.
And I think he looks directly to his left at her buffing her fingernails.
And then she glances over and says, "The axe?" And then goes back to buffing her nails.
You just... Is everything going to be all right? I think he's asking this to Elaine, Miss Rock, and himself.
And I think Elaine stops and she goes, "It's in your possession if you wish it, or in my possession if you don't. But we'll figure it out."
I may have use of it, actually.
Good.
Shall we meet up and converse face to face? I think he doesn't say it, but Elaine can hear from the tone of his voice he doesn't want to go home.
Yeah, why don't you stop by the mansion?
Okay, I'll bring snacks.
Okay.
Nice. Cool. So we'll cut away from there, and we turn the page. The next thing that we see is this like grimace on a man, and we see the onomatopoeias of like and then the next panel we see he's holding some kind of machine gun, but the bullets coming out are a weird type of laser, and he is located in an alley. We see a couple of see a dumpster, and of course the cool like fire escape. Eclipse, how are you dodging out of the way of Gravestone here as he's trying to kill you?
I mean, she's known this parkour trick for a decade now. I think she's just wrapping the shadows around her and just kind of going back and forth through each kicking off of each of these walls of the alley. Just kind of, this was the first trick she learned.
Oh, so it sounds like she's wielding her powers then.
Oh yeah,
you wield your powers with a purpose to shift the situation. Roll with power.
Oh, that sounds right.
And this is a confidence aligned move. Your confidence again is a 0 right now, but don't worry, I'll be giving some people some tracks, and we'll get that at the end of session as well. So you'll be rolling with just a flat roll. Oh, well, we'll see how good you are at this.
Shouldn't have bragged before I rolled this, but let's see. Still not bad. An 8.
Okay. On an 8, you get to choose one. You can take hold of something vulnerable to you, create something useful from your environment, or neutralize an opponent or threat, at least for now.
Is it just this one kind of thug?
He's the only one
Gravestone?
left.
Hmm.
Gravestone's the only one left. You took out all of his lackeys.
Of course, yeah. Oh, what you said? This was kind of like a laser kind of.
Yeah, he's got a laser Tommy
Tommy
gun.
Yeah.
Yes, it's absolutely a laser Tommy gun. We are on the exact same page.
Perfect. Yeah, I think there's some kind of, of course, everyone knows laser technology, light-based. I think she kind of uses, like, maybe we see like a dark cloud kind of go over this gun and it's now useless. That makes sense for neutralize a threat. Oh, you muted yourself, I think.
I love it. That's perfect. That's really, really good. Sweet. So yeah, you nullify with the darkness his laser gun, and you hear him curse, and it's like they've done the negative space where his little speech bubble is the only thing that's showing in the darkness for a little bit. There's a little bit of like a weird light silhouette to show him moving as he throws it to the ground. He says, "Get down here, Eclipse, you coward!"
Oh yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna do the opposite of that. I want to try to get him. I think I'm gonna stop on the rooftop and try and get him up here. And I think I'm gonna use one of my wonderful toys to try and do that.
Ooh.
This is, of course, my these names are gonna be terrible each time. I think just a shadow. What would be a shadow grappler kind of thing?
Oh, I like it. Yeah. Sweet. So let's see. When you engage the wonderful toys, you flee for power, push the limits, and you see reveal. Okay, get +1 forward to when you reveal it. You can take a +1 forward to a relevant action. So what would you like to do? You want to directly confront this guy?
Yeah, I think I want to bring him up on here. I'm kind of trying to angle to get him to ask a question with my next move. I could do this all night, but I have to get him to 0 determination first. I don't know what that means, but I want to get him there.
Cool. So determination in Power Beyond Doubt is kind of like the villain's hit points, as it were.
Yeah.
When they're drained of determination, that's the way to take them out and defeat them. He is a like lieutenant level boss, so he has just a few determination left. We're kind of picking up in medias res, as it were. So let's go ahead and have you directly confront him. You roll with daring. Your daring is a 1.
Okay, so yeah, +2 with my.
Yeah, with your revelation, absolutely.
Yeah, Yuan suggested the invisible hand, which I kind of love.
That is pretty cool.
Well, not too good though. Snake eyes there.
Snake eyes. Okay, great. So on a miss, you get an XP, and I get to do a thing. So I will. And your plan was to like drop down on him. Was that what you were thinking was going to happen?
I think from the rooftop, I was going to try to use this invisible hand to kind of grapple him to me up here.
Nice. Okay, cool. So you whip out the invisible hand, and as you do, you like reach down. It hits him. You imagine it's like a grapple hook kind of grab thing. Is that what you think this looked like?
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Yeah. So you grab onto him, but when you try to tug, he twists it and kind of loops it around one of his hands, and he yanks you down. And he's going to pull you down from the top of the fire escape or building where you are. I want you to weather a blow. We're hitting the weather a blow. That's on row 67 of the basic moves. When you weather a blow, roll with the absolute value of trust. I know this game uses absolute values, friends. It's a little mathy, but it's just as mouthy as it gets. Your confidence and your trust are both 0. So you just roll 2d6. This is one of those you want to roll low deals.
Oh, well, I got a 10, so.
Great. So you need to train your dice better, but I'm happy to tell you that on a 10 plus, you get to choose one of the following. You remove yourself from the situation, flee, pass out, etc., lose control of yourself or your powers in a terrible way, or take 2 options from the 7 to 9 list.
I mean, the player's favorite choice is always lose control of your powers.
I know. That's your player. As a player, you're making good choices there.
Yeah, I got to do that.
And her powers are her superhuman senses and her peak martial arts skill and peak athleticism.
Yeah, I kind of explained it like light wave powers, if that helps you paint that.
Oh, yeah. So you come flying towards him, and he's trying to line up this punch like he's thinking he's got this perfectly set up, and then you emit this incandescent electric light that blinds him. You end up falling onto the wet, slick concrete beside him as he's dropped to his knees, and he's holding his hands over his eyes. And then he looks around, and you see the gravestone, who has this like gray pallor to his skin. I'm totally binding off of Tombstone from Spider-Man,
Right there with you.
And when he looks around, you see that his eyes are like he's lost the color to his irises. And he's blind. You have blinded him. Sure, he was trying to kill you, but now he's blind. What have you done? He gets up and he staggers and he bumps into a brick wall, and he starts just kind of running blindly down the alleyway. What do you do?
I mean, that wasn't totally intentional. And maybe something in the back of Maya's head is not happy about this, but Eclipse is going right after him again.
It's easy to catch him. You can tackle him, knock him to the ground. He's cursing you. Now, Eclipse, when you catch these guys, you're an Avenger. What do you do when you capture bad guys?
Yeah, I don't think she's full like Punisher style, but she's not worried about concussions or lasting damage at all.
Okay. As you're beating on him and knocking him out, he laughs. He goes, "Mr. Hearst will get me free. There's nothing you can do. Just take me to the cops. It's fine."
And I don't. Does he count as zero determination? Or I might just try this. If not,
no, you've knocked him to zero determination. So if you want to trigger that move, feel free.
Yeah, so I just shift confidence up and trust down, and then I ask him a question that he has to answer honestly. So I think she just kind of grabs him. She's probably just like he's on the ground, and she's probably like over him, like holding him by its nose, kind of. And she's like, "Yeah, the cops might be here eventually, but if you want to see again, you're going to tell me where." I'm sure Honey Badger found it out by now, so you tell me what low-bit demon is holding Mr. Hearst.
Nice. So he has to answer honestly. What 2-bit demon is holding Mr. Hearst?
Oh, you shifted my confidence and trust already, right?
Yeah, I went ahead and did that for you. Sorry. So
Gotcha.
sorry.
I was like, did they start there? I wasn't sure. But yeah.
So he says, actually, this guy was he was a villain. I say he was a low-level villain, but for a rank and file henchman, you can just do it.
That's true.
He says, "Which demon has Mr. Hearst?" Circle it back to Osrock again. I think that's too much. There's too many ties to the same person, right? So we'll have to introduce a new demon then.
Our nemesis.
A new nemesis. Cool. Okay.
Or if how about Arum? If that works, I mean, if it's still a demon violin or something. I don't want to take that if Sherry's not okay with it.
How do you feel about it, Sherry?
Do I know?
Well, maybe you'll find out.
Yeah, sure.
Sis.
Let's do it. I have no sense of that.
Yeah, I mean that could be. I was kind of aiming for I guess like a need to reunite with Threnody, and that would definitely do it, wouldn't it?
He says, "Chris is under the power of the black and gold. The one who's holding him is named Aurum."
And I think you just see like a panel of I want to call her Shadowboxer still, but Eclipse kind of making that realization. And I think she's just like, well, you'll probably never see again. That's never happened. Just knocks him out. Yeah.
So we cut to, I believe Yuan and Elaine were meeting up. Where do you go to chat?
So I assume he's come to the Endeavors mentioned plenty. We probably have like this basement thing with like an old classic GameCube or something like that. We play ancient version of Animal Crossing when we're playing. Mostly I pick weeds. We eat candy. We talk.
Crazy.
Yeah, I think Yuan is looking up the newer Animal Crossing release that is coming out soon. For I think we cut there's that product tie-in page of the comic.
We gotta pay the bills, guys. I mean, these
Exactly.
comic books, they don't make much money. They're really they're IP generators for movies. So yeah, let's just get the money we can. Great.
Exactly. Yeah, she's skeptical because it doesn't look like the new version has weeds. So it's like, it's mostly what I do in Animal Crossing is pick the weeds. But so what do you think about the axe?
I think normally I would have asked my parents about it, but I have no contact, so I think. Do you know how to use an axe? I mean, beyond the sharp end goes in the bad person.
I thought you would know how to use it.
Oh, no, I mean, I do, but with Leonin on the loose, I think we should all have cold iron.
This is what it is.
Yeah, but I think you should keep it. I have my dagger.
She sort of picks it up. She goes, it's really light. Do you want to try swinging it?
I think he looks down at it and looks at the dagger on his side and nods, picks it up with his mithril hand. And I think tying this to Thor, I think the Omni weapon he had, Balor's Claw, is like Mjolnir. The only reason he can wield it, he's too damn strong to drop it. It's like this axe is like a breath of fresh air.
Nice.
How
Cool.
does it feel? I mean, does it feel evil?
Well, no more evil than the cycle itself. It just is.
Okay. So do you want to talk to your parents again?
What if they don't want to talk to me?
You're holding the cycle in your hand. Do they have any choice?
Oh, I think you're piercing my mask.
Okay.
Yeah. Good call.
Okay, pierce the mask is usually done with humanity. I have a move, but I don't have any trust or confidence. So it's straight, flat. Now, how do you move those?
Oh, great question. So at the end of every session, there will be a possibility of changing tracks as part of the end of session. We're probably going to need to close out here so we can get through all of that. But then there are also ways to, in the downtime moves, where you can move people's tracks around by offering support. And then I can shift tracks as a GM move when you fail.
Okay, I failed. So I rolled a 3. But I've never been very good at piercing the mask on my beloved team members.
It's consistent.
Yes. Consistency is my only virtue.
Oh, it's not at all even the least bit true. Yeah, I will go ahead and shift your I'm going to shift your confidence down by 1.
Okay.
As you realize that you're introducing to Yuan something that is incredibly dangerous to him, and also could leave him quite vulnerable. So yeah, it tings away at your confidence. But yeah, you asked the question. What was the questions? We'll pick back up at post move. You said But do you want to see your parents? Is that what you said?
Mhm. Yep.
And I think he I'm going to trigger my intimacy move. I think he
well, there we
hands the
go.
axe back to Elaine, and just he looks dejected. It's like not like I guess not dejected exactly, but stoic. It's like, you're my family now. You're what I protect.
And she goes, all right, I'll hold on to the axe and I'll protect you.
Okay. So we both gain one hold. We can spend this hold even if we're not in the scene with each other to give each one another either +2 or -2 to a roll.
All right.
That's pretty awesome.
I'll put that on your touchstone line.
Yeah. I'll put mine in gear.
And I think at this point, that's when Gally comes in and says, Elaine, Yvonne,
Mhm.
your friend Maya is here.
Oh, great. Could she come down?
Of course. And even though it's like a little early, I want to quit in time for us to do all the post game stuff. So we'll pick up with the three of you guys meeting up together, and we'll rope Venus in immediately so that Joe doesn't have to sit off by themselves and do nothing. So let's jump to our end of session stuff. Cool. So end of session. All right. If you go to the downtime moves tab, down on row 123, we do a series of team related end of session and touchstone. Once we get used to it, it goes through pretty quickly. End of session team. At the end of the session, take a moment to reflect on how the events of the game went and what big changes happened or seem to be on their way. Choose a teammate and ask them one of these questions. How did my actions this session affect the community? Or how did I affect the team this session? Or how did I affect you this session? After they have answered, the person that you tagged, they will shift one of your tracks, confidence or trust, by 1, up or down, their choice. Is that clear? Cool. I think if somebody does it, it becomes a lot clearer. Joe, go ahead and go first. I know you didn't have any scenes with other people. I apologize. We will absolutely remedy that.
So I guess I'll choose. Hold up, so I can get the name right. Threnody.
And what question do you want to ask Threnody?
Oh, I choose 1. Okay. How did my actions this session affect the community?
I think you respected Juniper's wishes. And that gives her more leeway to do what she's supposed to do. So for the community at this point, it's a positive because she can keep on reporting and she's not taking the hits for being too close to a super or any of those things. So how is that?
I buy it.
It's your
Sounds
choice, right?
Yeah, it's up to you. Now, Sherry, you get to shift Venus's confidence or trust up or down by 1. So one of the tracks, up 1 or down 1. Confidence is how they feel about themselves. Trust is how the world feels about that character.
Then I need to move trust up because I think that Venus was already a paragon and we're getting it to that actual base level.
Cool. So, Joe, just so we're clear, everything on the basic downtone and teamwork moves are linked back to the characters sheet. So that's where you need to make your trust. And just change trust from 0 to.
Oh, right on the basic moves page.
Nope, on the characters page. Sorry.
Okay.
And you change it there, then it changes on basic moves.
Okay.
I said that kind of backwards from what I meant, but.
All right then. And then I do the touchstones. End of session, or
we'll go through the team piece so everybody gets
Okay.
practice with it, and then we'll jump around. So after Joe, thank you very much. We'll go with Sawyer.
I'm going to pick Eclipse.
Nice.
How did I affect the team this session?
Interesting. Let's see. Well, mostly dealt with that demon lady whose name I forget. Ozark, I think. Ozrock. And you got that axe.
Freed my cousin.
Yeah. Actually from Eclipse's perspective, if she hears about this later, I feel like she would wag her finger at you, like all of these things. Like freeing a villain, even though they're family, getting this I guess you didn't necessarily get the this magical weapon, but also kind of buddying up with this possible demon or evil entity.
And shift my confidence or trust.
I guess I would shift your confidence up and your trust down.
Nope, just one.
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
it's just one.
I'm fine with just trust down.
Makes sense. Yeah, trust down makes sense.
Oof.
Too used to labels from masks.
I know. It's okay. That's why I wanted to do it a couple times with everybody. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sawyer. So we'll just stick with you, David. Who would you like to choose?
Yeah, I guess guess I'll go with Threnody too. I guess at the very end I have that connection to her. Or them, I should say.
So I ask you a question, or are you asking me a question?
Oh, right. I asked you a question.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
No. No. So you choose someone. Yeah, no, you're right. You choose them and ask the question. Yes.
Okay.
I'm screwed it up. I apologize.
Let's see. I'll go with how did my actions of this session affect the community?
See, that's a hard one. I think in the short term, positively. In the long term, maybe less so. But let's say trust for now, because they really believe that that gravestone deserved it, and they don't get the whole blindest thing. So +1 trust.
Nice.
Okay. Oops.
Good. And now, Sherry, you will pick one of the other player characters and ask them one of those 3 questions at the end of session team.
Yeah, I think I almost have to ask Yuan, how did I affect you this session?
I believe you have set me up. I'm not sure if it is for tragedy or for greatness. I think you have pushed me back into my epic archetype.
That's the archetype I know.
And your confidence goes up because you are you have a family
I do. Thank you.
and an axe.
And an axe.
Nice. All right, now we will go back and do end of session touchstones. The end of the session, ask yourself the following questions. If you answer any of them with a yes, gain 1 XP. If you answer all of them with a yes, gain 2 XP. Joe, did Venus improve things for herself?
No, I guess. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, did you improve things
She's
for your...
just as confused, more confused than ever.
Fair enough. Did she improve things for her touchstones?
Yes.
I would say yes. I was gonna argue with you there. Did you improve things for the city?
And that didn't really affect the city.
Didn't get an opportunity
It's
to.
just a private matter.
Yeah, it's a very short.
I say you did affect them for the city.
Ooh.
I explicitly said that.
Yeah, but this is a personal opinion, right?
So let's see. If you answer any with a yes, gain 1 XP. Okay, that's fair. I do think that yes, you at the end of the 3 questions, you either get 0 if none of them are yeses, 1 if you answer only 1, and if you answer
Nope.
1 or 2 of them,
Yep.
then you get 1, and if you answer all with a yes, gain 2. So
Yep.
regardless, you're going to get 1 XP. So go ahead and take it. Joe Sawyer, did Yuan improve things for himself?
Yes, I have more family.
And did you improve things for your touchstones?
Yes, I signed another contract with Miss Rock.
God, so bad. I love it. You're so doomed. And then did you improve things for the city?
I believe so, because, and I will say more because I am getting back with the team and not trying to be not defeatist and to arm people to take on a threat I see against the city.
Nice. Cool. Thank you very much. And we'll go with David. So did Eclipse improve things for herself?
Yeah, I'm of 2 minds on this, because I guess I got some information out of these people that she's looking for, although it might come back to bite her. She kind of blinded this person. So
We'll say yeah. You got some information. You took down some bad guys. Did you improve things for your touchstones?
yeah, and this one, I guess so. This is maybe a case that the touchstones should be positive for you, but I
It's
would
true.
probably
There
say
you go.
maybe I should rethink this organized crime one.
Okay.
But
Fair
yeah,
enough.
I think but for right now, definitely not. I can't see a way I would have.
I would
Okay.
argue yes for organized crime. You've given Gravestone a sob story.
Hey,
great.
yeah, you're not wrong, I guess. Yeah.
Oh, poor Gravestone. Poor Gravestone. Cool. And then did you improve things for the city?
That one is the only one I'm like, yeah, definitely that one probably.
Cool. All right. Then that would be, I think it goes to 1, right? Right? Because of the earlier piece, or did Sawyer change your mind?
He only said yes to 2.
Right. So it'd be 1 XP.
Yeah.
Nope, I misheard the first one then.
Yeah.
Cool. So that'll be 1 XP, and those go through. So real quick, we're overtime. If anybody needs to go, feel free. If anyone wants to stick around, I'd love to do a quick bit of Roses and Thorns. Again, keeping in mind that we did a whole lot of world building, so we've really only got a couple scenes near the end, and so I know that the exposure is limited to the system, but I'd love some like first impression opinions because we got to see some basic moves, we got to see some track alignment, we got to see some moves from characters go. So yeah, we'll just keep it a little freer. So David, this is your first experience with Power Beyond Doubt. What were your
What about
first
Sherry?
impressions? What about Sherry?
Did she not do her questions, or did she?
Oh, did you do your touchdown questions, or did I skip you? If I skipped you, I am so sorry.
That's okay. I end up
I
with 1
did skip
XP.
you. So Elaine, did you improve things for yourself? I'm so sorry. Thank you, Sawyer.
I got a little better at what I do, or
I
at
would
least I
agree.
demonstrated that.
Did you improve things for your touchstones?
I did for one of my touchdowns.
Absolutely.
That's all that I need to do. Yes. So
Yeah.
yes.
Did you improve things for the city?
If you accept the thing that us being a team again is a good thing for the city, then I would say yes, we did.
I accept that. So
All right.
that would
Thank
be
you.
2 XP.
I will take 2.
Thank you again, Sawyer. I apologize, Sherry. I saw what time it was and my brain flitted away.
My husband does that all the time. Don't worry.
Well, okay. Well, he's pretty wonderful. So if I can be in that camp with a mistake, I can live with that. So David, first experience with Power Beyond Doubt. What's your first impressions? Anything that seems challenging to you or worrisome?
Yeah. So kind of limited to the system, right? I think. Yeah. I guess I just said it a minute ago, but still kind of trying to figure out the touchstones a little bit, especially because the Avengers kind of set up to be, kind of the everything you're kind of on your own, like the Batman vigilante that's still part of the team situation.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I feel like all my touchstones, like if you were Batman, all of Batman's touchstones would really be like the other heroes on the team, basically. So I'm like, who else should I? So I was kind of reaching for some of mine and using rivals and stuff, which maybe wasn't a great idea, but.
Cool. You know what? And I think that's a really good observation. And David, if during the intervening week, if you want to shuffle up the deck, feel free. This was like a pilot episode. So if you're like, yeah, after reevaluation, let's touchstone up. And in most games of Power Beyond Doubt, folks almost always have like at least 2 to 3 PCs that are touchstones. So it's really super helpful to do it that way.
That makes sense. But yeah, saying that was kind of the only wrinkle I came across.
Okay, thank you for that. And then what were there any parts of it that that you enjoyed or are really excited to explore?
Oh yeah, I feel almost everything else was amazing. This is really interesting, especially the 2 tracks, like the confidence and trust. I'm interested to see now that most of us have at least a -1 or +1 to it, how they kind of interact that way.
Yeah. I can't. Oh man, when we start getting to the point where you guys are like, you have +2s in those tracks, and you start hitting some of the overconfident and overburdened stuff, it's so good. I can't wait to. Thank you so much, Dave.
Actually, I guess it just occurred to me, but it would have been interesting if everyone kind of started off with like add 1 to one of those tracks.
I may very well.
Yeah,
I may very well do that. That's a really good suggestion. I think that's a good thought. Cool. Joe, what about you? You've played Power and Beyond Doubt before, but that had ties and XP triggers. So this one, touchstones and the end of session stuff has replaced that. So any particular aspects of the system that still trouble you a little bit, or
too early to tell?
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Anything that's changed or anything about the game that you're looking forward to digging into?
Hard to say, I guess. I mean, I still like the NPC touchdown stuff. That's always fun. Playing it as an abstract idea should be interesting. I don't know how one would gain that idea again. Like, when you would gain someone as a touchdown when you're already connected to them.
That's fair. Okay. Something that I can ask Jen about, see if she has some suggestions on that one.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I like the fall below 3 or gain more than 9. That's kind of neat.
It is pretty cool. it's one of those that doesn't happen often, but man, when it does, it's really important, you know. I can feel it. It's cool. All right, thanks. Sherry.
Yes.
This is your first, you played once before, right, PbtA? Or am I misremembering? No, you didn't get a chance to play it last time.
Nope.
Cool.
I never got to play it.
Any particular challenging points to the system so far as you've engaged with it?
Challenging, I think I bought Touchstones with the idea that she starts out with very much the world that she kind of came out of high school with and then went into college with. It's like she hasn't widened her world with people as much because she's been so much in the abstract world. So my hope is that as we do these touchstones, that she can actually swap these out for other people as things change. Is that possible, or are these iconic?
No, they're not iconic. They are relatively fluid. In fact, the GM move is you remove touchstones because people have screwed up. So, and it's in adding touchstones is relatively easy. So yeah.
Good. Okay. Yeah. So clearly, Ms. Osborne Rock was able to make me a touchstone, so it's pretty easy since I had nothing to say on it. So like that. That's a fun and neat. What do you say? Kind of little Doom tracky thing, you know, when the villains and like, you know, people that are not your friends have you as a touchstone, which means they can use you to their advantage. It's kind of a like, oh, okay, that's clever. I mean, even if it's just to inspire them to go harder. So that's pretty cool. And I really liked the character development as it follows masks, because you really do have to think really hard. There's no like, oh, I was this and now of course I move right to this. There's no straight path. Something has to happen in between. So that's very clever and kind of exciting. So those were my first thoughts.
Good. Thank you so much, Sherry. Sawyer, I'm curious, any particular challenging points to the system so far, or
it looked really complicated at first, and I'm really happy how easy it was to slide into, just so far at least. And what I'm looking forward to are the downtime actions and to start spending team and getting more messy with touchdowns, things like that. But I need to be going because it is late, and
it is.
Yeah. So
that's fine. I'll bring this to a close. Thank you all so much for playing, and we'll see you in a week, and we'll continue with Power Beyond Doubt.